Welcome to Babu Moshai. Babu Moshai, as I've multiple times told you, is about adda, about golpo, about discussion, and we keep talking to people who are distinguished and from various sectors. Each is an achiever in his or her own right, have been integral to the Bengal narrative the way we want it constructed. But the problem is, these are voices that are fast getting marginalized in the violent political discourse that is going on at this point in time in our state. So let me introduce my panel. To my extreme right, Rajat Ghosh Dostidar, one of the most distinguished footballers to come out of Bengal, played for India between 1999 and 2004-05. After that was part of the ATK outfit, not the ATK Mohun Bagan outfit, the ATK outfit in the inaugural year of the ISL when they won the competition. To Rajat's left, Aisha Mazumdar, one of the most distinguished business families she hails from in her own right. If you see the Kolkata social circle, if you see telling comments, pertinent comments, she doesn't hold back in giving her opinion. That is what I would want to see on this show. Malavika Banerjee, in our literary scene, we wanted our own literary festival and she gave it to us. If you see January, it is incomplete at the Victoria Memorial, and I'm not taking COVID into account here. It is because of Malavika Banerjee's festival. To my left, Anisha Thakkar. Anisha is now competing as part of the Femina Mrs. India contest. She's in the top 20. We have worked together. We have worked together for the IPL and the ISL. And she is one of the leading voices for the Kolkata Knight Riders as well. She's presented their show, The Night Club. With Anisha on her left is Tota Raichaudhuri, more recently, better known perhaps for Feluda, and Tota has an entire oeuvre of work in the cultural domain, in the film domain with him. And finally, we have Dr. Rupak Borua. Rupak Da is the head of the AMRI hospitals, the group, and forefront of the COVID vaccination process. He's been a frontline worker himself, had COVID, so has led that fight for us. So that's my panel for today. Rupak Da, if I can start with you, if you could take that microphone. How is this process of vaccination going? Because the first few days I saw huge queues outside of hospitals, people queuing up. There were is it better now? Have things been streamlined?
Yes, Boria, your situation is much better now. Actually, the whole vaccination process started from 16th of January 2021. And initially, we started this vaccination starting with the healthcare workers initially. And then that's a phase 1. Then phase 2, actually, that's for the frontline workers. That means your police, your civic volunteers and all. Now, from 26th of February, we have started this vaccination for the elderly population, 60 plus, and those who are more vulnerable population, that is a 45 to 60 with comorbidity. So that's the whole plan of the vaccination which has started, and later on it will continue.
Mala, if I can come to you. You gave us the literary festival. What you see every day on national TV, the language of politics. Are you disappointed with what's going on? And do you feel marginalized? Give me two answers. One, as a woman, have you had issues working in this states, because this state or this city, because safety is one of the central planks based on which the two leading political parties are debating. And number two, the literary festival that you've sort of started is perhaps a kind of marginal thing. 5 days of the year we celebrate, but the rest of the 360 is violent political debates on television or mainstream. Do you feel a little frustrated with what's going on?
I would say that if you talk about what's happening on television debates as opposed to what happens in a discussion like this, or indeed at the literary meet, that's true of the whole country. I don't think you can isolate Bengal and say that there's been a devaluation of political discourse, because everywhere the language in the parliament which you hear now is not what a Pilu Modi or a stalwart of the 60s and 70s 70s used in the parliament, and there were fierce debates, and there were, I'm sure, political disagreements, but the language used had a certain decorum and a certain sense of respect for the opposition.
So, Rajat, if I can come to you on football, when you played for the national team, if you take a look at the number of Bengalis at the national level, and if you compare now, Bengal is no longer at the forefront of Indian football. Mumbai City FC, Bengaluru FC, Goa, these states, I mean, Goa was also there, but these are the other states that have come forward. While our football, despite an influx of money from ATK Mohun Bagan, is receding. Is that a correct picture, or would you contest that and say, no, Bengal is still very much there?
Well, you are right to some extent, Boria, but I feel that in our era, there was maybe 6-7 Bengali footballers in the national team, and that number has been reduced to 3 to 4 nowadays. But healthy competition is good. That, as you said, that Goa is coming up, Bengaluru has come up, and that's good. Means I feel that healthy competition is good for Bengal football. And the way ATK Mohun Bagan have been playing in this ISL, there were 7 Bengali players, and out of those 7, 4 players they have played in the first 11. And out of 11 players, 4, it's quite a number, I think. So I'm hopeful. Down the line, I feel that definitely that Bengali players the number of Bengali players will be increased in the national team. And the way IFA, they have been working towards it, I'm really very hopeful.
Rajat is saying that on that note, we will have some cha. Sir Ashun, please. While we have our tea, Tota, if I can come to you. Having done Feluda, firstly, I will ask you for a couple of dialogues, okay, on this show. I'll ask you for a couple of dialogues. But is this OTT platform, which has now become very popular in the country, have we embraced it in Bengal as well? Are you seeing more work for people like you and your industry?
I am seeing an influx of really talented people because of OTT. Not just in Bengal, around the country. In Bengal, even more so. Because getting a break in Bengal was very difficult for an actor. In my time, there were just a handful of projects in where you could get an opportunity to showcase your skills. These days, I'm seeing 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, they come up in a big way. They hit the YouTube, the social media scene, and then they are inducted from there itself. And such talent, Boria. It really warms the cockles of my heart that in Bengal, and I so proudly say that in Bengal we have one of the, if not the most talented artists in 360 degree, whether it be in acting, in direction, music, behind the scene work, DOPs. DOPs, in fact, nationally, there are some really good Bengali DOPs, director of photographies, who are doing stellar work.
I will now have to tell you, give me some original dialogues. The Tota or Feluda, chobite chobol mare na. So you guys know what I'm talking about. Mithun Chakraborty from the political platform, and this has nothing to do with Mithun Chakraborty or Trinamool for that matter. This platform is an apolitical platform. I mean, Mithun Dar, Pray Shob Chobi, I've watched a lot of Mithun Chakraborty's films, and he's an icon for all of us. But Feluda doesn't. Chobite chobol mare na. Give us a couple of Feluda dialogues.
I will encapsulate the spirit of Feluda and the spirit of Bengaliness in Jotokandu Kathmandute, when Mohanlal Mehigraj offers money to Feluda to release him. He says that Bagh ইউরিন দিয়ে টেরিটরি মার্ক করে, আপনি টাকা দিয়ে মার্ক করে, আর ফেলু মিত্তির মার্ক করে ন্যায় দিয়ে, জাস্টিস। আমি টাকা নিয়ে কি করব?
So the translation is very quickly, Feluda, I'll just give you the last part. He doesn't want money or doesn't work for money. What he works for is justice, or to deliver justice for people. And that is what we are about. Aisha, when you sort of interact at the club level, at the social level, when you meet people, the language of political discourse, do you associate with it?
So this language of political discourse that you are talking about, I think it's quite deplorable in the current scenario. This is not something that I, as a Calcuttan, have ever seen in my growing up years. I've seen the left regime, not the Congress that was before my time. And over the years, I find it's really going down in a very, very bad way. And what is sad is that a lot of normal citizens are also jumping into it, because social media has such an instant impact on our lives now that we have immediate access to whatever is happening all across the country, across all boards. And so the good and the bad of political parties, whatever they may be doing, that is instantly available to us as citizens.
So when people you say are joining, are they conscious of what they are getting into, or are they fly-by-night operators?
No, I think Bengali is definitely, Calcutta people, people of Bengal are very conscious, but they are kind of drawn into taking sides, sometimes too quickly without actually assessing the facts of any situation that the political parties talk about.
I'll come back with this question for Mala after the break. Before that, I'll go to Annisha. Mala, I'll ask you this question. Has politics lost respectability? This is something I'm plagued by, seeing what is going on in our state and in our city. Annisha, you have worked here for the last 7, 8, 10 years. You are part of a beauty pageant. Do you ever feel unsafe? Do you ever feel that, this is an issue? Because women's safety is one of the most important political issues that is being debated by practically every political party. Do you feel unsafe working? And has anybody told you or given you a sense that you're not Bengali?
Women over here is very much safe. In fact, women in Bengal, they have been considered as an incarnation of Durga. That's why I believe the respect of women in Bengal is much more than other cities.
Has anyone made you feel that you are not from this state or city? You are not a Bengali. Have you ever felt that?
Well, to this, I would say that being born as a Bengali, married to a Gujarati, I absolutely feel comfortable sitting in an authentic Mughal restaurant, savoring their biryani. And I would aim to give this to my daughter, that she should embrace all cultures.
Fabulous.
So, I have never felt unsafe over here.
That's exactly what you want. The cosmopolitan nature of this city and this state. Our tea is getting cold. So quick break. We'll have our tea back, as I said, with the question, the language of politics. Have our politicians across the board lost respectability? Back after this very short break. Back after a break, now a very critical question. Seeing the nature of political participants, do we have respect for our politicians? A Mamata Banerjee or a Narendra Modi, as career politicians, each of us will have respect for, irrespective of the political party they stand for. There is a degree of commitment. But what we are seeing across both political parties or every, do we still have respect for our politicians who will actually be representing us in the assembly? Mala, I'll start with you. Do you find them respectable? Do you find them sort of inspiring you and me? Are we motivated enough to go and vote for them?
Well, I'd say that, everyone comes, I would imagine, with good intention. I can't imagine that they enter politics out of any reluctance or, only opportunism. But I think it's like when you drop something into tar, it eventually will soak some of that tar up. So the tar is the problem. Our politics has become so discredited.
Aisha, is that the reason why somebody like a Shourab will not come into politics?
I would hope so. I would hope so. I would think so. I think the current election scenario that is going on here is possibly the most important one in the last 40 years. This kind of polarization, this kind of, this kind of dialogue that goes on between the political parties and their representatives, whether at the national level, whether at the state level, is unheard of right now.
Rajat, honestly, would somebody like a Shourab, had he sort of decided to make a foray into politics, would it have inspired you? I mean, do we need such good people to come into politics? Or are we are not courageous enough to enter the domain, but we are sort of happy throwing barbs. So is it our own problem?
Yes, somehow, I think so. But the thing is, the way he has been ruling BCCI, that shows us that if he comes into this arena, definitely he will prosper and he will definitely do something good for the nation, good for Bengal. But having said that, Boria, I'm a little worried about something. All of us, we get to hear a certain term nowadays, khela hobe. But there are certain rules and regulations for all the sports. But is there any rules followed by these political parties when they say khela hobe?
He just said Khala Hobe. Aussie rules, by the way, you can say there are no rules. So perhaps the only close equivalent to what we are seeing in the Kolkata has a great rugby culture. So there you go. If you can't take the ball, take the player. So that's the philosophy that we are seeing in our politics. A very, very woman-specific question again for you. You have a daughter, and we've seen both of you together performing, a young daughter. When she sees what is happening, and everyone now is exposed to social media, to television, is it difficult? Is it difficult as a young mother to grow children amidst such toxic, vicious political debates going on in our city?
Well, it's absolutely difficult if she is going to watch all these things, because the kind of training, the kind of discipline we mothers wants to input to our children, this is not what exactly happening in the world. I, being a part of an event association, I work for events. Then what is the problem in doing an event if, like, they are saying that only 50 people can come to a gathering, right? But what happens when all these political leaders are coming out with rallies?
Good question. Very
So,
good question.
Coming back to your question.
You have made this point as part of your social media post. One of the things about our city and our state at this point is creative freedom. Are you scared when you write such things on social media?
I'm not. I'm definitely not, because it is up to me what I write and what I support. And if somebody has a problem to it, that is their concern. I am not worried about anyone, and I'm not a political person. If given a chance, I will not even go to vote someone, because the kind of promises they are doing, that if I'll be the leader in future, I'm going to do this for you, that generally doesn't happen. Does it happen?
So there is a degree of disillusionment that is speaking out here. If I could ask you, Ogni, as a young icon of this city on radio, people, masses hear you, to give me something, whether it is a stand-up little piece, a telling comment on what's going on, what would you do?
So let's take the example of probably one of the finest Bengalis we have come across, Satyajit Ray. So he's an international Bengali. Everybody, I think, in this panel will agree to that. So his last movie was called Aguntuk. In Aguntuk, Robi Ghosh, a fantastic stand-up comedian, and more than that, a brilliant actor, performed a little skit in front of Utpal Dotto. So the skit goes like this, and it's very relevant with the current election season. A person who is politically inclined has come to the writers' building. Back then, there was no Nobanno, there was writers' building. So he's come to writers' building, and he asks the security guard, I have come to see CM. CCM? You mean CPM? No, how can I see PM? PM is in Delhi. I have come to see CM. Appointment? Yes, for CM. 4 PM. CM has left. Sorry. Why sorry? I am also left. Why sorry? If the CM is left, I am also left. Dada, CM has left for home. Badi gachen. Already left. Right.
What this illustrates is the confused nature of each of us as to what we will rightfully do in this political season. Frankly, each of us are pretty outspoken, but can any of us, with hand on heart, speak our minds? Do we have the creative freedom? Do we have the political freedom? Our freedom is perhaps in peril, and that is the worst feature of our democracy, the way we are living, entering perhaps a tectonic political election.
One thing to say, which is May 2nd is Satyajit Ray's 100th birthday this year, and it's also the day the election results are going to be out. I hope the great man gets his time in the sun, and the day is not vitiated by the results of the elections.
With your approval, can I end this discussion with one line? So basically, what she said is, if it can be summed up in a single line, Rayed Dine Ray. So if we can say this in Bangla, Rayed Dine Ray. 2nd May, we celebrate the birthday of Mr. Satyajit Ray, and the election results are going to be out on the 2nd of May. So yeah, let's see what the Riot Dine Rai takes us to.
Riot Dine Rai takes us to. That brings me to the end of this episode of Babu Moshai, but I will say this. We are not here to give Rai. We are not here to give you a verdict. We are here to give you what is respectful political discourse, speak our minds, without interrupting, without abusing, without turning violent.
And without noise pollution.
Without noise pollution, having our tea. Because frankly, you know what? We also exist, and each of us here do have a voice. And that voice also needs to be heard. And whether we are the lowest common denominator or not, we don't care. Because our voice, and exactly like Rousseau, single will, our will also have to be heard, because we will make it heard. Thank you very much for watching.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.